OCD stands for obsessive compulsive disorder, and this is a psychological condition that involves primarily two kinds of symptoms. You have obsessions, and these are unwanted thoughts or ideas or images. The person doesn't want to have them, they can't stop them from coming to mind, and they create a lot of anxiety and distress and uncertainty for the person. And then compulsions are the things that the person does to try to get rid of the obsessional thought or the associated anxiety, and sometimes these behaviors take on a ritualistic or compulsive quality.
My name is Kyle. OCD interfered with my life. I lost most of my friends. That was my own fault. I did it. I completely secluded myself off from the world. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, and I could not work anymore. I had to leave work because I could not focus on anything but my problems.
Obsessive compulsive disorder is a condition that, as the name suggests, is characterized by obsessions and compulsions. Obsessions are intrusive thoughts or images that a person struggles to get out of their mind. And the person deals with the anxiety and the distress that these thoughts or images cause by doing what we call compulsions, which are behaviors or thoughts that are designed to reduce the individual's anxiety or prevent the bad thing that they were worried about from happening. Certainly there are more common compulsions than others. The most common ones are the ones that we think of as the classic examples of OCD. People who will hand wash a very large number of times during the day. People who will check things an excessive number of times, checking the door 50 times while trying to get out of the house, checking the stove excessively, say before bed or before leaving the home. Those are probably some of the most common ones. The obsessions, the thoughts or worries that we're talking about here are not just worries about real-life problems like finances or health or relationships. The worries in OCD are usually a little bit more unusual than that.
It affects me on a day-to-day basis of rituals and superstitions. My obsessions were that I would go crazy and harm people or harm myself, and compulsions were to store away anything sharp objects such as knives, pizza cutters, cheese graters, anything like that.
There are a number of treatment options for OCD. One of the best things people can do is to get better educated about OCD through some of the excellent self-help reading materials that are available. And many people are able to, once they know about what treatment for OCD looks like, to do a very good job of applying that treatment in their own lives without necessarily having professional help. Now, there are cases where professional help is certainly required, especially when the OCD is more severe. And in those cases, making contact with a therapist who has experience with OCD.
Things that I do now is, instead of avoiding what I fear, I expose myself to it, to look at it as an opportunity to show myself that I'm at no greater risk than anyone else. When I was really bad with my obsessive compulsive disorder, I was using the back of a spoon to butter toast instead of a bread knife. I was afraid to even use a bread knife. Now I do the dishes, and if there's steak knives, I wash them. And I have absolutely no fear of it now. Don't give up on yourself. Give yourself a chance. Talk to someone, talk to a friend, talk to a relative, even talk to your GP. Go to a local hospital. Just talk. There's hope. There's hope out there.
Thank you and good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Sports Report. Today's date is December 20th, 2022. Isn't like you think about biting your nails or negative thoughts. An obsessive thought might be a certain numbers or colors are good or bad. A compulsive habit might be to wash your hands 7 times after touching something that can be dirty. Although you may not want to think these things, you feel powerless and they cannot stop. Everyone has habits, or the repeat. Someone with OCD have thoughts and actions. Take up at least 1 hour a day. Are you beyond your control? Aren't enjoyable? Interfere with your social life or other parts of life. OCD type symptoms. OCD comes from, but most cases falls into at least 4 general categories. Checking, such as alarm system, ovens, lights, switches, or you have a medical condition, pregnancy or schizophrenia, a combination, a fear might be dirty, compulsion, clean, metal, condiments, contamination, involves feeling like you've been treated like dirt. Symmetry and ordering, the need having things certain ways. Ruminations, intrusive thoughts, obsession line of thought. Some of these thoughts may be violent, disturbing. Obsession compulsion means many people have OCD, know their thoughts and habits and don't make sense. They don't do them because they enjoy them, because they can quit, and if you stop, feel so bad that they can start again. Obsessive compulsive thoughts can include worried about some other people getting hurt, constant awareness of blinking, breathing, or body sensations, suspicions that partners is unfaithful with no reason to believe. Compulsive habits can include doing a task specifically, order time, certain good numbers of times, needing count things like step or bottles, fear of touching doorknobs, using public toilets, or shaking hands. OCD isn't like, say, you may be scared of germs, but OCD people can be messy. They always clean, may do multiple washes a day. You may check your door multiple times a day. I wish I did sometimes. You may check the alarm if it is off or on. You may check the trash if you take the trash out, or you may flush the toilet, or you check the thermostat. This is not a joking matter. About 3% of people in the world have OCD. Just like if you're bipolar or schizoaffective or schizophrenic, you would not like it if they made fun of you. We'll do episode 5 next. Here's more with me and Jason. Also, tell me why you think holidays are so hard for everybody. They may go out and say answer, but
Yeah, I think that the holidays are hard because there's an expectation that, you should be happy. But what if you're not happy? And then if you're not happy, you might feel guilt for not feeling happy because everyone feels it's the most wonderful time of the year, right?
right.
But when you combine the fact that a lot of people aren't don't have the greatest family situations, you might not have the finances to gift the way you want to gift, um, the weather changing, less daylight. The seasonal affective disorder is definitely a very real thing. So I think there's just a lot of pressure, real or imagined, to be happy when a lot of times it's a struggle for us to be happy when it's not Christmas time.
I don't know if you've ever heard of ACT or acceptance-based therapy, but they talk a lot about, you don't have to be happy every moment of the day.
Yeah.
You can It's what you do with your actions. Meaning, I guess if you like hit somebody or whatever, you got to think about that before you do that. But anything beyond that, you can't really control your emotions. Except, I mean, you can control them, but you can't not let them be there.
Right. You have to acknowledge what you're feeling. And I mean, I'm a prime example. I am not, I don't particularly, Christmas time doesn't do a lot for me because I, there were some things that happened towards the end of my marriage that took place around Christmas time that, you know, this time of year brings up those memories. I'm sure I'm not the only person who has memories like that about Christmas time. So for me, that's a reason why it's not the greatest time of year. So I have learned to say that no, it's not the most wonderful time of year for me, and that's okay. I'm not going to like try to rain on everyone else's parade, but I'll find ways to enjoy it my way.
Okay. We'll talk again sometime soon.
All right, sir. Have a good night. I got to get to the gym.